Hello, everybody. I'm sorry for the delay, but I'm excited for the topic tonight. Hopefully, we can get everything working in a short space of time. And I'm listening to myself on YouTube. There we go. There's something strange happening with my mouse, so I hope it doesn't affect the stream. But so for today, we're going to be working on a project that links blockchain data from the Scale network to Arweave. For the purpose of the stream, you don't need to know all of the fine details of that. Actually, all we're going to be doing is setting up the final steps of the basic auth flow. Most of that's already in place, so we're just going to be neatening it up. And hopefully we can implement one or two features on top of that. For this project, we're using Hasura and Reason React. Like I've said many times before, Reason ML is my favorite programming language at the moment. So yeah, without further ado, let's hit it. Share screen. Okay. So if I scroll right to the top of this file, you'll see the basic login flow that I've set out. So yeah, I've called it the login tree. So the first step is to check if the user has already logged in. If they have logged in, like if they logged in previously, so if they reload the page and they logged in yesterday and their token hasn't expired, it should auto log them back in, for convenience. So if, that fails, then it'll show a loading screen, right? But if it shows as logged in, if it finishes loading and it's not logged in, so that's this next step, then it'll show the login screen. If it's logged in, but it hasn't loaded the user's data, so I'll show you about that now. Basically, we have to load the user's credentials. Then, then it'll show a loader. If it's already loaded that, then it asks if it's loaded the user's bridge data. This we haven't done yet. And we actually still need to define the basic format of the user's bridge data. So here we go. So all of these are nested. So I'm going to make a new component around these children. If Denham's watching, he might find this funny, but Denham's really good with UI and making things look nice. So I'm not going to put any effort into the UI, and I've just left a message here for Denham to take a look at this. Let me put word wrap on. Cool. Now you can see everything, even though I'm zoomed in. Cool. So we're going to be making another component like this. So this is the user profile loader, and this component at a high level asks this question: have we loaded the user's data? And if it's loaded the user's data, then it'll show the children. Otherwise, it shows a loading screen. So next step. Module has loaded users bridge data. Okay. And over here, it's going to be another React component. Of course, and once again, we'll pass through the children if this condition is true. So children, And then, yeah, for now, let's literally just put the children. So this component does absolutely nothing. And yeah, where will this go? This will go somewhere here. Cool. And that shouldn't have changed anything. So let's actually see what this looks like. It's localhost 3000. And I'm just going to quickly close everything else that I have. Should have done this before. I was in a a massive rush to get to the stream, unfortunately. But here we go. So it's boom. So you see, I've already logged in. So that's what that flow is. I should add a little log out button in the corner or something. But let's not do that now. Cool. So this the first step is what data am I going to be loading, right? So let's go here and go to yeah. So I need to check out. I need to run the Hasura console. So Hasura console. From the console, I'm going to basically work out what commands I need. I think I haven't even finished all of the data structure for this project. Arweave endpoint. Okay, these are duplicates. I want to delete this one soon. But what we need is a new table. I did write down some notes about this. Let's see. So I'm basically creating a new table, and this table is going to keep track of which processes have run, which processes need to run regarding the Arweave bridge. So let's just call this bridge data. That sounds fine to me. It'll have the user ID that the item belongs to. It's a text field. Just for a little bit more context, this is actually going to be the GitHub user ID. So we're using GitHub login for this project, but yeah, no need for too much details there. Let's close that. Let's do let's do this. Auto increment. I think an ID like that makes sense. And it must be unique. Then user ID, text. Then we have that's a good question. Content type. Okay, this is just for now because I'm on a stream, but in the future, I want this to be an enum, and I'm not super familiar with how Hasura does enums, but I know you have to make another table, and so I'm not going to put you through that in the stream. But let's go text. Just for now, we need frequency. This will also be an enum. It'll either be daily, hourly. I don't know. There'll be some fixed set of options. At least that's how I think it'll be. But for now, it'll just be text. We can fix that in the future. Scale. Yeah. This is Postgres. I should be using snake case. Okay, I prefer camel case. Let's just do it. So it'll be scale endpoint ID, and this will match with these endpoints. It'll be a text. Then we'll have Arweave endpoint ID, also text, and active. This will be a Boolean. And then let's have another field called status. This will also have to be an enum, but as I said, I haven't worked out how to do the enum, so just text for now. And let's think. There's probably more fields I'd want here. Yeah, let's do metadata and label. Oops. So metadata, who knows what people might want to add in the future. Let's make this JSON B. Binary JSON. That's perfect. Label. Do we want this unique? We don't want it unique on the whole table. We want it unique per user. If someone knows how to do this properly if you could comment, that would be awesome. But not expecting too much. I basically need this this label to be unique per user ID. So a single user can't have two Arweave bridge connections with the same label. But last time I tried to do this, it didn't work, and I couldn't get it to work. So I'm not going to spend too much time. Unique key is ID. Primary key is ID. Okay. Awesome. Then relationships, configure. It's a object relationship. Object relationship means one-to-one. User ID. Bridge user. And it's from user ID to ID. Oh, actually, I think I'm going to delete this table, bridge user. Sorry about that. Basically, I don't need this user table anymore because I can get this directly from OneGraph, which is the authentication scheme that I've been using. There isn't really enough time to go through that, unfortunately, but I will hopefully be able to get the rest of it working. So if I go to the bridge data again, not get distracted, object relationship, bridge, scale endpoint, and this will be on scale endpoint from scale endpoint ID to the ID of the scale endpoint. Save. And we need one more. Object relationship. It is, let's call this Arweave endpoint. And we'll use the Arweave endpoint here. And we'll go from Arweave endpoint to the ID of the table. Oh, that's interesting. I actually haven't done this before, but maybe this is to be safe. I have to link these together. That makes a lot of sense. Sorry, my phone's going crazy. Let's see. Mute. Doesn't look important. Okay. Yeah, I've actually only ever done it matching on one item. So this will be interesting. I hope it works. It should be good. Let's edit the scale endpoint to be the same. Okay, I'll have to remove it. Yeah. Let's configure object. At least I've done this before. Scale endpoint. Public. This will be the scale endpoint. It'll be scale endpoint user ID to user ID. Save that. And now that looks good. The last thing I do want to do is, like I said, actually delete this table. How do I delete the table? It'll probably give me an error because I think there's a relation that I've got from this table. Yeah. Okay, so let's quickly go here, relationships. I don't have a relationship there. Okay, this one, remove. Let's just remind myself. Okay, modify scale end point. Okay, yeah, maybe this is a losing battle to be doing this on a live stream. So I'm just going to make sure that, yeah, this is my GitHub username. I exist. We should be okay. So now if I come here, let's throw that in there. Yes, I also need to allow access to this table. Permissions, user, we give it select, custom checks, user ID equals Asura user ID, and I'll select all of them, save the permissions, and the same for modify and update. We need the same. Toggle all. And I don't think we want to allow users to delete it. Or maybe we do, I'm not sure. But not now. Toggle all, save the permissions. There we go. Cool, so I hope that all is working. I can come here, remove the secret. And okay, I'm not sure what's... there we go. Cool. So this is the query that I use to get the login. Oh, interesting. It's with capital J and capital S. Okay, let me quickly fix that. Otherwise, things might not work as well as we want. Let's see if this works. Cool. I think this is so slow because I've added OneGraph as a remote schema, and OneGraph's schema is huge. That's my only guess why it's so slow. Anyway, we want to run. We actually want to run an insert, a mutation. Okay, so bridge data, something to do with bridge data. Here, insert bridge data. I guess this one. And we're gonna grab okay, we're gonna be setting the ID. Okay, no, we're not going to be setting the ID. That's auto increment. The label, let's call it test. Active should be true. Arweave endpoint. That's actually a good question. What will this be? Yeah, we need to be careful of some of these content type. Let's say it will be snapshot. So if we go to the description, Skale-Arweave bridge, and we look here, this is the type of data we need to have: block data, transaction receipts, etc. But anyway, for now, I'm just going to say snapshot. Frequency, hourly, metadata, I will just, yeah, that might not be valid JSON. I don't know. This will be test also. Status in progress. And user ID will be just soons. Well, actually, let's use Denham Preen. Okay, and let's return the ID just for fun. I think this will fail. Hasura user ID. That's strange. Okay, we're going back to just having admin for everything. I'll have to sort out why this is not working another time. Let's remove the role, and now we just admin. Cool, that worked. So I'm just going to copy that. We can save it. Yeah, let's just put it here in this file. We can refactor it later. So, and throw that in there. Cool. You're gonna have to do a fair amount of work still, but we are definitely making progress. What I want to do is actually look what a query should look like. So this will be bridge data, where let's just get all bridge data. We don't have much. ID, frequency, label, Arweave, endpoint. Let's run this. Huh. Okay, that's an error. I guess these are the issues. Let's run that again. Yeah. Yep. So let's go here. Arweave endpoint ID, scale endpoint ID. Both of them are test. So you'll need to do a quick add of those. So another mutation. So scale. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, it's add, insert, yeah. Insert scale endpoint. So ID has to be test. Your I has to be HTTPS. This is test.com, that's fine. User ID needs to be okay, and let's just say affected rows. Let's copy that and so we need Arweave endpoint. Let's run this. Arweave, just so it's different. Okay. Duplicate value. I actually don't know why this is. Yeah, let's just remove this, I think. Okay, there we go. Cool. And now if I come back here, bridge data, now I'm going to add some of the stuff. And over here too. No, still giving an error. This is a scale endpoint. Okay. Yeah. databases, hey guys. Lots of fun. I'll tell you what, I'm probably going to cut this short because I want to actually write some code for you guys, and it might take some time, some activity in the chat. Primary key, awesome stuff, Sean. Yeah, I need to get more organized and have a sidebar of sorts so I can actually see these during the stream. Yeah, regarding this point, I actually didn't want to show my keys to the whole world again, but it should be. I'll have to check that out after the stream. Anyway, thanks for the help. I'm going to switch gears because I do have something that actually does work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to load the scale endpoints that this user already has. So let's go down. It's over here. So this config element, I think it's already set up. Let's give it a try. Config. There we go. So edit your endpoints. New endpoint. If I add that, okay, that's a fail. Let's reload the schema. So what's the command? Go into the UI, yarn update schema. So this just will reload everything. Make sure I'm up to date here. Okay, give that a moment. So basically, this is a component, a test component that I wrote a while ago that inserts scale endpoints and mutates scale endpoints and inserts scale endpoints. And it was working, so I'm a bit confused why. Oh, I actually do know why. It's the authentication. So if I go to the root provider here, and in the headers section, I can actually cheat like okay, not here, over here. Let's duplicate that. What is it? Admin secret. And I've got a very secure password of testing. Cool, and let's actually comment that out. Okay, and this needs to be the same. Okay, cool. Now I'm hopefully unblocked and I can make some progress. Let's go here into that config endpoint that I created. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so it's loading and I can make endpoint. Just add that and it should, yep, it's updating. So we're going to have to work with this. I know you guys wanted to see the awesome bridge data working, but that'll have to be for another time. So if we go here to the config components, I've got this mutate model. And when I click submit, it basically submits that query, and then it reloads the list that we have already. What I'm wondering is if I think some of this is hard-coded. Let's stop hard-coding it. The URI and the user ID. The user ID, as far as I know, is hard-coded, but I'm not seeing it now. Ah, here it is. Maybe it's correct. Let's take a look. Oh. Okay, that's annoying. Okay, so it is using the correct username. That's perfect. The next thing I need to do is actually filter by username. So where user ID equals. Okay, and let's quickly copy this because this will be useful. And what's the syntax here? Yeah. Dollar user ID string. So by the way, this is using the latest GraphQL PPX, which is very nice in my opinion. And then I have to use that here. How is that? Okay, it needs to get an argument now. That makes sense. So this needs to have that. What's it make? Get user scale endpoint query dot make variables, and this will have the user ID, and the user ID will be the one that I've got listed here. User ID details dot login. I feel, let me just go to the reference components. I feel like I'm messing up the syntax a little bit. Query, typical, I think. Yeah, here we go. Of course. I need to actually call it. So let's go back. I hope this works. Cool, it's happy there. Let's go down here. And we need to do the same thing. So let's just grab this. And grab this. Okay. Oh, I'm doing it inside itself. I think that's right. Awesome. Okay, let's go back. Let's take a look. Yep, and I only have one. And when I add a new one, hello world, I've got both of them. Okay, so that's cool. So what I want to try and do very quickly, I don't have a lot of time, is if the user has 0 endpoints, it should take them on like a sort of quick start, how to make the endpoints. If they have endpoints, then they obviously have used the website before, and they can dive straight into the meaty stuff of configuring it or whatever else. So for now, let's actually make lots of code duplication. Yay, I'll sort that out after the stream. Cool. And let's make some more code duplication. Cool. Okay, and yeah, let's turn this into a function, and it takes in the user ID. Okay, you can use field punning there. Cool, it's compiling, nice. And now we can start doing stuff inside this component. So this is actually now a hook, right? This is a hook here, so the outer function has to be a hook. We are going to grab this line and throw that over here. Sorry guys for I'm probably missing out a whole lot of stuff in the chat. I should invite people to join backstage with me in the future. But let's see. Yeah, you're helping me. Thanks so much, guys. Okay, but let's go back here. So we're going to say let endpoint query results equal use, what's the name of it? Use get. And this will take in user ID details.login. Cool. And now this will be the result. Let's check how this looks. Oh yeah, sure. I need to grab some template code to match on the results. Endpoint query result. Okay, this this over here. We're going to have a loading screen that my friend Denim will hopefully fix at some point. Okay. React.string. And we can add that here. I'm just thinking, will this ever be true? I mean, I'm calling it right at the beginning. Yeah, I'm not super sure, but anyway, let's just continue going through this until we don't have red all over the place. Cool, so here, if there's data, oh, I see. I probably copied. This is code from the mutation. I don't know how different it is. Yeah. Okay, let's rather copy this code. This is, where does it end? Here. This is code from a query. It'll be more in line with what we want. So that looks good. Let's delete all of this. Yeah, that should be fine, I guess. Something like that. We'll neaten all of this up later. And this is just endpoint query results. Cool. Query. There we go. And now there's some other error. I guess if I remove that, it'll fix it. Nice. I love it when that works. So this sort of makes sense. I'm not sure if I should be doing something with loading, but let's just explicitly ignore it. Cool. So now we've got this data. We need to conditionally check if this data is empty, if it's an empty array, or if it has stuff, and then we'll show something different. Basically, if it's an empty array, we're going to show the user onboarding process so they can like populate that array. If it's empty, then if it's full, then the user can go on with their life and be happy, right? So yeah, so it's an array. I don't think you can pattern match on an array in Reason. I think you can only do that in lists, for lists. I'm probably going to get a response in the chat if someone's still there. Other window. Yeah, I've looked at Reason Relay. I'm using Apollo for my other project, wildcards. Okay, so I can pattern match on arrays. That's awesome. So let's think. So it'll be a switch, spelling on data.scale endpoint, and if it's empty array, or if it's yeah, okay, that kind of makes sense. So if it's got data, if it's got more than one item, we'll show children. Otherwise, we will show start the onboarding process. Reason.string, save that. Closing bracket. And my spelling's bad or something's wrong. React. Cool. Yeah, guys, I'm normally much smoother with my laptop. I recently updated my operating system and haven't configured my shortcuts. Home page. Okay, yeah, that makes sense because there is an item. Let's delete that item. Is it this one or the other one? It's the other one. Let's delete that. Yes. Delete that. Yes. Go back here. It's busy logging me in, loading my data from OneGraph. Haha. Okay, guys. It's been a great pleasure. I'm going to need to run. Sorry about all the fumbling at the beginning of the stream. But we definitely did make progress, and the stream was less than an hour. So I consider this a success. All of this code is open source. You can find the repo here. I'll make a pull request and link to the pull request in the chat. And then, yeah, I'm going to keep on doing this every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm probably mostly going to be working on wildcards, but I possibly will work on this project a little bit while it's in progress. I think there's going to be a part 2 and a part 3 for this project. The Scale team have basically told me that this is something they really want and it's important to them. So yeah, and they love open source. So yes, goodbye, and thanks for joining me.